Hello and welcome back. I'm Christine Corrado. With me right now is John Barker from Loncor Resources. John, it's great to meet you. How are you?
I'm very well, Christine. Thank you.
John, it is such a great time to be involved in gold right now. Can you tell me a bit more about Loncor Resources to get started with?
Yeah, Loncor Resources is really coming out of hibernation. It started over a decade ago in the DRC and put a land package together of gold assets. But it's sort of within the last 12 months that things have really started to move. It's got essentially three elements to it. It's got a joint venture with Barrick, a name that most people are aware of. But I think the area that we're particularly excited with is what we're doing ourselves on the ground that we have ourselves. Not only are we significantly increasing our own resources, but we're also finding exploration as well. Just looking at those three areas, to start with, we're situated in the northeast of the DRC, about 220 kilometers away from where Barrick Gold manages the Kibali gold mine. And it's arguably the most successful gold mine in Africa currently. And apart from the fact that it's being so successful, I think it proves a point when people question what is achievable in the DRC. There's a lot going on in the DRC currently. Kibali has actually exceeded expectations. Companies such as Ivanhoe, led by Robert Friedland, is now very close to starting production on major copper. Glencore's there, and we even had various organizations, just Tesla, looking into the region. So there's a lot going on in the DRC. But Kibali Gold Mine, it's great for us because in a way it's a proxy for the deposits that we're developing. Last year they produced just over 800,000 ounces at the mine at costs that were sitting below $700 an ounce. So currently that's offering a margin of over $1,000 an ounce. Now, why is it a proxy? Well, if we look at the resources that they've got, obviously significantly bigger. They've been there quite a while, and there's more certainty they have reserves as well. But the projects that we're developing have very similar grades to what they're experiencing at Kibali. So the JV with Barrick is excited. We just looking at it, they're looking for Kibali too, and in order to achieve that, they've gone in for a JV with Loncor over large parts of what's called the Ngayu Belt, and they're looking to earn in at 65%. They're going to do all the work and pay all the money up to 65% and pre-feasibility stage. And then after that, it will be 35% to Loncor. 35 to Loncor, and then we'll have to start contributing through feasibility. So that's started. They've started drilling. They've identified a number of what they call tier one prospects that they're drilling. The number keeps increasing as they're drilling, and we're looking for news out of that JV over the next number of months. But I think for us, the immediate excitement at Loncor is our own projects that we've actually kept out of the JV. There's one area in particular around a resource called Adumbi. It's got two satellite pits as well, but let's call it Adumbi for now. We increased the resource there by over 62% in April of this year. And so we've got just over 2.5 million ounces there at 2.54 grams per ton. So as I said, similar grades to Kibali, which means it's going to be bottom quartile on the cost curve if it continues to illustrate grades like that. So that is the immediate excitement, is what we're doing there at Adumbi. And to consolidate that position, we've just raised 5 million Canadian to drill another 12 holes at Kibali. And these are what I class as infill into areas that we just didn't quite have the density of drilling in order to call a resource. So we're quite comfortable that we're going to hit more ounces in those areas. And then we're also going to put a number of extension holes below to look at the depth. In the same way as Kibali's done at their project. They had an open pit and they're moving underground, or rather mining underground currently. we're looking to do the same in the future at Adumbe. So we'd hope to get a significant increase in the resource at Adumbe over the next 9 months, and then move on to a scoping study to get an indication of the potential economic side of that project. So that's the short story. As I said, we do have exploration down about 8 or 9 kilometers from Adumbe, which is showing very encouraging results at an early stage. And then we have other projects in our own control too. One in particular, Macapella, which has 600,000 ounces of indicated resources and just over 500,000 of inferred. And again, great grades at that deposit, but we're currently focusing on Adumbe, but Macapella is certainly in our mind for adding to those ounces in the future. And as far as the company is concerned, we have, I think, 2 mining companies on as shareholders. We have Resolute, the Australian gold miner, who owns around 26%. And then we have Newmont, who own 7%. And then the other significant shareholder, I think, particularly in the minds of investors, is our CEO, Arnie Kondrat. Arnie has a long history in the DRC, over 30 years, but he also has a significant holding of 26% in this company. So obviously he's aligned with the interests of shareholders in making this all work.
Well, I think you have managed to answer all of my follow-up questions in regards to your gold projects. You are based in Toronto, and you did start to begin trading on the Frankfurt Stock Exchange. You also have a presence on the OTCQX. Can you maybe talk about what value you've seen in expanding to these geographies for your investor base?
I think it's fair to say we're just now starting to see value from the exchanges. The Frankfurt we've only been listed there for just over a week. We already have people on the ground telling the story into the European market. Of course, for a number of Europeans, very convenient to trade on Frankfurt. So I think we're immediately seeing benefits with volume, small as it stands, but growing. And as I say, we're looking to access the German and the Austrian and the Swiss investors through that conduit. As far as the OTC is concerned, well, there's a number of investors who prefer, obviously, out of the US investing in the OTC. So we've seen benefits there. So both of them in different ways are offering benefits. But it's really, as we're starting to tell our story, I mentioned before, we haven't been out there actively telling the story because a year ago we didn't have that much to say. But now we have drilling and resources and potential scoping studies. So with that news flow coming, we have something now to tell all of the investors around the world, which is what we're looking to do, and hence the spread to Frankfurt and the increased focus on the OTC.
Yeah, definitely looking forward to following those advancements. John, thanks so much.
Thank you. My pleasure.